252.
Yada te moha kalilam.
Yada te moha kalilam.
Buddhirvyatitarishyati.
Buddhirvyatitarishyati.
Tada gandasi nirvedam.
Tada gandasi nirvetam.
Shrodavyasya shrutasya cha.
Shrodavyasya shrudasya cha.
252.1. The meaning of the words of the shloka. Yada, when, te, your, moha kalilam, perturbed by delusion, buddhir vyatitarishyati, that is buddhihi plus vyatitarishyati. Buddhihi, intelligence, that is mind, vyatitarishyati, will overcome. Tada, then, gantasi, you will reach. Nirvedam, dispassion. Shrodavyasya, of what is to be heard. Shrudasya, of what is heard. Cha, and. 252.2. The meaning of the shloka. When your mind, perturbed by delusion, will overcome the perturbance, then you will reach the dispassion for what has to be heard and what has been heard. 252.3. Bhāṣya.
Yada yasmin kale te tava moha kalilam mohatmakam aviveka rupam kalushyam yena atmanatma viveka bodham kalushikritya vishayam prati antakaranam pravartate tad tava buddhihi vyatitarishyati vyatikramishyati shuddhibhavam apatshyate ityarthaha. Tada tasmin kale gantasi prapsyasi nirvedam vairagyam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha tada shrotavyam shrutam cha nishphalam pratipadyate ityabhiprayah.
Translation. When, at which point in time, your deluded intellect overcomes that perturbance of delusion, which confounds your discrimination between self and non-self, and which directs the mind towards objects, that is, when your mind attains purity, at that point of time, you will acquire dispassion about what is to be heard and what is heard. The idea is that what is heard and what is to be heard will all be fruitless. 252.4. Explanation. Having stated that the wise men reach the state of moksha, Bhagavan proceeds to explain when that Sankhya conviction will be attained. That is when they overcome the agitation of the mind. Human mind is always agitated. It tries to fulfill the ever-insatiable wants and gets deluded. Disappointment and anger follow desire. As opposed to this deluded mind is the pristine mind, which has the ability to discriminate between the ephemeral and the everlasting, the untruth and the truth. Amrta Bindu Upanishad Mantra 1 speaks of two kinds of the mind. Manohi dvividham proktam shuddham cha shuddham cha ashuddham kama samyuktam shuddham kama vivarjitam. Mind is described in two ways, pure and impure. The impure is with desire and the pure is without desire. 252.5. Casting off desire is the key to controlling the agitation of the mind. How to cast off desire? In other words, how to attain purity of mind? There are no shortcuts. We have to be aware of the transitory nature of the objects of desire. have a clear idea of the goal of human life, observe the practices that take us to that goal, like meditation and performing our duties in dedication to God and with no desire for fruits. Performed over a long period, these practices gradually purify our mind. The desires disappear and we reach a state of dispassion. The ultimate dispassion is described as Nirveda, where even Veda gets discarded. Let us remember Bhagavan's advice in 245 and 246, where he asks Arjuna to go beyond the Vedas and says, what use are they when there is flood of knowledge everywhere? 252.6. You would have heard many descriptions in flowery language, that is 242, of the pleasures of heaven. You may again hear many such things, not only about heaven, but also about everything in this world and beyond, and even about the ultimate truth. New teachers would appear, proclaiming new theories about the ultimate and ways to reach that. None of these would attract you once you have reached that state of dispassion. It is in such a person that the Sankhya conviction gets established. 252.7 Bhāṣya.
मोह कलिलात्यय द्वारेण लब्धात्म विवेकज प्रज्ञः कदा कर्मयोगजं फलं परमार्थयोगम् अवाप्स्यामि इति चेत् तद् शृणु.
Translation. By overcoming the agitation of the mind and by attaining the wisdom that comes out of the power of discrimination, when do I reach the yoga of ultimate knowledge, which is the real result of karma yoga? As to that question, you listen. 252.8 Explanation. What has been instructed so far is how to control the agitation of the mind and reach the state of dispassion. That would lead to discriminatory intellect. But that is not all. Only the realization of the self would release me from the cycle of birth and death. When do I reach that yoga? 252.9. A word about the meaning of yoga will be in place here. It comes from the root yuj. If you take the root stem combination of yuj melane, the word would mean yoking, joining together. That way, it is the joining together of Jivatma and Paramatma that is the realization of oneness. This is Sankhya. Another root stem combination is Yujir Samadhau. Here yoga means samadhi, or a state when the mind ceases all the activities, see 244.6, and becomes one-pointed. Therefore, yoga represents both the final goal and the path. It is the sense of path that comes out in words like karma yoga, bhakti yoga, etc. In that sense, it covers the physical yoga called hatha yoga, austerities, meditation, etc. In these verses, yoga takes on the meaning of the means as well as the end. 252.10. When does yoga, the means, take me to yoga, the end? Listen.